Am I mad, or merely jealous? I do not know. But I suffered unbearably. I committed an act of wild insanity, yes, that is true. Yet suffocating jealousy, betrayed and desperate passion, unrelenting torment, are these not enough to drive a person to crime and madness, even if there is not the slightest trace of evil in his heart or mind? Oh, how I suffered, sharply, endlessly, excruciatingly. I loved that woman with a frenzied passion. And yet, is that the truth? Did I truly love her? No. 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 She seized my soul and body, subdued me, entangled me. I was, her possession, her plaything. I belonged to her smile, her lips, her gaze, the lines of her body, the features of her face. I suffocated under the tyranny of her appearance. But her, the woman, the essence of that body, I hated, despised, cursed. And I always hated, despised, cursed her. She was treacherous, bestial, depraved, filthy. A ruined soul, a lying and sensual creature, soulless, devoid of any free, animating thought. She was nothing but an animal in human form. No, less than that. Merely a womb, a wondrous, delicate, beautiful body in which only vileness resided. The early days of our affair were strange and intoxicating. Forever wrapped in her open arms, I exhausted myself in the fury of unsatisfied desire. Her eyes, as if awakening thirst in me, made me part my lips. At noon they were gray, at sunset, green, and at dawn, blue. I am not mad, I swear, they truly changed color. In moments of love they turned blue, wide, with enormous, trembling pupils. Through her quivering lips, a moist, pink tip of her tongue would sometimes flicker, trembling like a serpent's. Her heavy eyelids rose slowly, revealing a burning, paralyzing gaze that drove me to delirium. Embracing her, I looked into her eyes, tormented by the simultaneous urge to kill this creature and to possess it endlessly. When she moved about my room, each of her steps made my heart falter. And when she began to undress, slipping off her dress and undergarments, and emerged from them, depraved and radiant, I felt in every limb, in my hands, my legs, my breathless chest, an infinite, cowardly weakness. But soon I realized, she had grown tired of me. I saw it in her eyes one morning as she awoke. Leaning over her, I waited each day for her first glance. I waited, consumed by rage, hatred, and contempt for this sleeping creature that held me captive. Yet when the pale blue of her eyes opened, clear as water, still languid, still weary, not yet recovered from recent caresses, it was as if a flame reignited my desire. But that day, her gaze was indifferent, sullen, devoid of any longing. Oh, I saw it, recognized it, felt it, understood it instantly. It was over. Over forever. And every second, I saw proof of it. When my hands and lips reached for her, she turned away with irritation, muttering, "Leave me alone. You're repulsive. Will I never have peace?" Then I became jealous, like a dog, cunning, suspicious, secretive. I knew, soon it would begin again, another would come, and she would burn anew. I became insanely jealous. But I was not mad. No, certainly not. I waited. I watched. She did not betray me, but she was cold, indifferent, and sometimes said, Men disgust me. And it was true. Then I began to envy her solitude, her indifference, her nights alone. I grew jealous of her movements, her thoughts, suspecting filth in them, of everything I sensed within her. And when she awoke at times with that same languid gaze, as once after our passionate nights, as if some desire stirred again in her soul, I gasped with rage, trembled with indignation, with an uncontrollable urge to strangle her, crush her underfoot, grip her throat, and force her to confess every shameless secret of her heart. Am I mad? No. And then, one evening, I felt it, she was happy. I felt she was trembling with a new passion. I was certain. Deeply convinced. She trembled as she had after my embraces, her eyes sparkled, her hands were warm, her whole quivering figure breathed the same atmosphere of love that had once driven me to madness. I pretended not to notice a thing, yet my attention wrapped around her like a fine net. Still, I could uncover nothing. I waited, a week, a month, an entire season. She blossomed under the influence of some unknown passion, grew quiet in the bliss of elusive caresses. And then, I understood. I am not mad, I swear to you, I am not mad. But how to express it? How to make it understood? How to explain this repulsive, unfathomable thing? Here is how I came to know. One evening, yes, I insist, it was evening, she returned home after a long ride. Her cheeks were flushed, her chest heaved, her legs trembled, and her gaze was weary. She sank into a low chair across from me. I had seen her like this before, she was in love. I could not be mistaken. Beside myself, I turned to the window to avoid looking at her, and saw the groom holding the reins of her large horse. He was leading it to the stable. The horse reared. She too watched the agitated animal. And then, once it was led away, she suddenly fell asleep. I did not sleep a single moment that night. It felt as though I had grasped secrets I had never before imagined. Can one measure the full depth of feminine sensual depravity? Who can comprehend their incredible whims, the strange satisfaction of stranger desires? Each morning, at dawn, she galloped across fields and forests, and each time returned shattered, as if from mad, frenzied embraces. I understood. Now I was jealous of the hot, racing horse, of the wind that caressed her face as she rode, of the leaves that kissed her ears as she passed beneath the trees, of the sunbeams that pierced the branches and lit her body. I was jealous of the saddle she pressed her leg against. All of it, precisely all of it, made her happy, aroused her, filled her, exhausted her, and returned her to me numb and nearly motionless. I resolved to take revenge. I became gentle, attentive. I offered her my hand when she dismounted after a wild ride. The frenzied beast kicked at me. She stroked its arched neck, kissed its quivering nostrils, and did not wipe her lips afterward. The scent of her body, damp, like after the warmth of a bed, mingled in my senses with the sharp, animal musk. I waited for the day to come, for my hour to strike. Each morning she rode the same path into the birch grove that led into the woods. And so, one day before dawn, I went out with a rope in hand and loaded pistols hidden at my chest, as if preparing for a duel. I ran to her favorite trail and stretched the rope between two trees. Then I hid in the grass. Pressing my ear to the ground, I heard the distant gallop. Then I saw her, between the branches, like beneath a vaulted canopy, riding at full speed. Oh, I was not mistaken. She was beside herself with joy, her cheeks flushed, her eyes ablaze with madness, and the furious pace made her nerves tremble with the wild ecstasy of solitude. The horse struck the trap with its front legs and collapsed, its limbs broken. I caught her in my arms. I can lift even a bull. Laying her down on the ground, I approached the horse, which stared at us. And as the animal tried once more to bite me, I fired into its ear, and killed it, like a man. But suddenly I fell. 2 lashes of the whip scorched my face. And as she lunged at me again, I fired the second shot into her belly. Tell me, am I mad?